Hey folks, this is May 7th, 2020. The markets are closed right now, and let's go over the Elliott waves and kind of a top-down view of what the expectations from this week were. We had the 4:30 6 a.m. high, and then we got the A down from there into Sunday, and then we were supposed to stay afloat into Tuesday, and then I had Thursday as a secondary hit originally from the Sunday cycles. Of course, tracking this inverted wave was pretty difficult. So far it's all played out well. The expectation is that this is overall an A down from 4:30. This is completion of B wave, and then what we're staring at right now is a crashy C wave down. If this has to play out, it has to play out before Friday close. And the CIT I have actually is 11 a.m. 11 a.m. to midday Eastern time. So 11 to 12 is the CIT. And so C waves normally are driven by news. So I'm expecting some kind of a bad news to hit the wires later this evening for this to occur. Now, the C can get truncated in strong markets, or C can go to lower lows in for an ideal Elliott wave completion. I don't know which one it's gonna be. If I look at the cycles, I can see it both ways, where we simply get a retest of the Sunday lows versus we actually breach the Sunday lows. And even from SSG, I can see why we could potentially get a lower low. Now, in grand scheme of things, what I'm expecting is once we are done with this week, with the C wave down, that will mark the wave two of the April lows, the early April lows, or let's just say the last week of March lows, where we had the momentum CIT of 329. So from here, we're gonna direct rally up into OPEX and beyond. I'm thinking May 20th. And the projection is it will clear at least this high, and then we'll get some more correction before we continue higher. So that's kind of the expectation from an Elliott wave stance. Of course, I would like to see hits on the Gann angles as well. Markets really take off without actually clearly touching these angles. And also, if you recall from the Hurst cycle, and let me just clean this up. I'm expecting from the Hurst cycle that we actually get a touch point on this line, which is, obviously in a bullish mode right now against the 90-day. So we need to see a touch of the green line at the minimum, which is at 28.16 right now, which is again an unprinted number that we have, unmet target we have from early this week. So, so that's the story on a grand scheme of things as to what the expectations are. Now, if this does not pan out, the C wave, we'll have to reevaluate, and the markets have to clear 29.16 to declare that the bear is actually over, and we could not actually fully nail the correction this week. The high end of monthly VIX cycle and monthly VIX cycles actually show the markets are rising and we are in a corrective phase. It's at 29.31 today, or for tomorrow, midpoint at 28.20, and the low end is at 27.10. I think we get this number at the least, but let's not get hung up on anything. If it has to happen, it has to happen by midday tomorrow. Looking at The overall intra-week cycles, Sunday down, Tuesday high, hanging up into Thursday here, and but overall moving lower, and that's what we're counting on now. The price projections for the next 24 hours, 2765 through 2824 on the minimum side, and then 2904 should be a firm stop. And if you have a wider margin, then 2916 on S&P is a firm stop. And you can see how well this has been kind of guarding the upside. And that upside actually comes as a midpoint between the weekly and the monthly wave right here. And as you can see, this week is inverted, so we're in a corrective phase. And this kind of a position normally means you're down into Friday. So we'll have to see. And the markets essentially are not in a position to move higher until this number is surpassed. And weekly pivot isn't inverted. So that may still remain to be the case even next week, and we may get a stronger move after next week if the situation doesn't clear tomorrow. But overall, we could still be moving higher, as I showed on the projection on Elliott waves. And we have a bigger sell today than yesterday. Yesterday we had two smaller degrees on buy. Today the weekly joins in a sell as well. And here's another thing I wanted to show you. These are monthly GAN numbers, and so I take the full potential of the GAN cycle during a month on the upside and on the downside for the folks who don't understand how to read SSG. So the quarter negative cycle, 1/4 of the negative cycle had a pivot of 2819.72, and we actually breached that. Now we have to be very sensitive to every pivot that appears here. Once this is breached, and I believe we got 2797, I don't think that was enough. The midpoint of these two is 2766, because the next pivot is if half cycle comes into play, and then you have to keep subdividing into midpoints. So if this is gone, then this is the target, and the midpoint of that is 2766 on the ES and 2773.65 on the S&P. So that's a number kind of to watch out tomorrow. No changes on the SSC grid. RTH Michan actually was a buy. Yesterday we had an unmet target, even though we were declining and we went down to 2830. We had a target of 2864 to be printed within 3 trading days, and it printed today. Similar situation today, even though the markets may decline, it already is saying that we will print 2891 once the down move is complete. From there, we'll have 3 TDs to hit 2891. So hopefully, I'm thinking Monday, Tuesday. Overall, we are in a buy the dips mode. We are going through a trough on dailies, and I expect, this is like a 2 week or maybe even 3 week old comment. I expect this to be a sideways affair with a massive acceleration on after 5354 towards ATH. We did get the 53 low actually. So, and again, May mob is 2915.45. Mob is make or break, so that's between bull bear line for the entire month. We have to get above this to start moving higher. And you can try all you want, but sometimes the work done peacefully turns out to be the right one. And the green line has not been touched at all ever since I drew it on Sunday, and it completely worked. And now we want it to work for this segment, which is sharply lower. The model is actually pointing to 2760-ish on the ES. So I don't know, but I think at the minimum 2838 ES or 2845, 46 on S&P will print. I think at this point there is no reason, we basically cleared all of the peaks on the cycles, and there is no reason to exceed today's high. So that's one stop. You can choose other stops as you prefer. 28.92 on S&P equal to 28.84.85 on the ES would be another stop. Not ready to buy this market yet. I am not sure that the correction is over. I am not confident it's over. So let's keep holding on to the shorts, and let's see what happens over the next, I guess, 16, 17 hours or so. Good luck.